we are making the Hawthorn flower. Hi, and welcome to my craft room. My name is Kelsey. I also call myself Dinosaur Mama, and today we are making the other flower for May, the Hawthorn. I know I am getting this in on the last day of May, so I apologize. I had a lot going on this month, but we are going to get through this very small flower today, and I hope you enjoy it. If you are new to my craft room, you can find the link below to the blog post, which will have the free SVG file and written tutorial. This is the 6th flower now in my Flowers of the Year series, and I will have all of my flowers linked down below as well. If you're ready, let's jump over into Cricut Design Space and Silhouette Studio and get started. So your Hawthorn flower is only going to have 3 pieces, and it's going to be the center, and then the flower and the leaf. The center and the flower are the same color, and my sizing right now is about a little less than an inch on just the flower. This sizing is good. It is a small flower, and actual Hawthorn is actually even a little bit smaller, but we do need to be able to work with it, so I felt like this size was good. When you cut this, it might be a little bit small, so just be careful when you're cutting it. You might not want to do fast mode for this one. When you go to make, my suggestion is just to up your project copies here. I believe I ended up making about 8 total of mine, or 7. And so this is where you can up your copies, and it'll give you the amount of leaves and the amount of flowers. And then you can go ahead and cut this out if in any material that you're using. I use the medium cardstock setting. Okay, now for Silhouette Studio. So you're going to open up your SVG file, and then you can duplicate right here on the actual canvas. So I like to use the duplicate when I can find it. There it is. And then I just usually go like this and then go like this. You can duplicate however many times you need to. And then I always like to use the nesting feature right here and nest all of my same colors. So I would grab all the white and then all the green, and I would nest it. So I would go like this and hit nest. And then I would do the same for the green and hit nest. And then when I go to send everything, I usually do it by fill color and then just select the one off, send it, click it back on, click it off, and send it. All right, once you have everything cut out, we can start our assembly. So the first thing that I did was I added on a red coloring to the end of my centerpiece. And I'm just using a marker here, but you can use alcohol ink, paint, crayon, whatever you want to use. But from what I found online, the Hawthorn center has a red tip at the end. And so I'm just putting a dot on the end of each one. It does not have to be perfect. And I believe for the first one that I did, I even did this after. Like it was all assembled. And you want to make sure that you do both sides. So that is what you want to start with, is just coloring the ends of the center piece. And I am using a very thin floral wire here. I believe it is a 24 gauge or a 22 gauge. It's very, very thin. I'm adding the tiniest dot of hot glue, and you have to work pretty quick on this because you don't want it to dry. And you're going to take the end and make sure your center is facing up. I know it went a little blurry here. I'll try to show you another one in a second. But you want to add that on, and then we're going to start wrapping it around. So I only glued down the very end of it, and make sure your red ends are sticking up off the floral wire. I learned that the hard way too. And you're going to start wrapping it around the floral wire. So you're just wrapping it like you would roll a rolled paper flower, just around the tip of the floral wire. So you have to be a little bit delicate with this. You don't want it to rip or tear. And you're just going to wrap it around until it's all the way wrapped. Don't worry about it being perfectly like on top of each other like a rolled flower. You don't really need to worry about that too much. And then you're going to grab your hot glue again and close it off. And you're only using a little bit. I really wish I had a fine tipped hot glue gun. I used to, but it broke. And then I ordered the wrong thing. And so now I am just closing it off. I'm just going to use my finger and close it shut. And you can always clip your floral wire before you make the end of this one. I forgot to do that. So make sure you trim your floral wire. You can make it as long or as short as you'd like. But there is our center on top. And see, it's not super perfect, but it looks good. And now I'm going to grab my scissors and cut my floral wire, again, however long or short you want. And now I'm going to roll my actual flower petals, I'm using the smallest bone tool that I have here, and I'm doing each petal rounded a little bit and then rounding the center as well. And I'm just using a bunch of foam sheet, like a foam sheet all balled up to roll on. You could also use a sponge, or you can get the actual mat that they use for rolled flowers. And so I slid the flower piece onto the floral wire. There is a hole already included in this SVG. I add a little bit of hot glue right at the base of the center and then slid that flower right on there. And there is your little hawthorn flowers. Now we can just add on our leaf. All right, and so for our leaf, I use my bone tool to shape it. You can shape this really however you'd like. Give it a little bit of a bend, give it a little bit of a curve. And it does have like a little extra stem, I guess you could say, at the bottom. And I like to curl that and add my hot glue to it. And that's kind of the piece that I wrap around the floral wire. So it's just a little extra tab for you to use to glue on your leaf. And now we can go ahead and start assembling all of our flowers. These come in groups, so that's why I suggest you make a bunch of them. They are a great filler flower that has a little pop of color, so I really enjoy these little flowers. So let's go ahead and make some more of them just so you could see how the center is done again. I think that that's probably the most difficult part of this entire flower. And here is my bunch of hawthorn flowers all done. You can wrap the end in some floral tape if you want to, or you can use this as a filler flower in a bouquet. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me as we made the hawthorn. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for new crafty videos every week. And share this with one of your crafty friends who needs a new paper flower to make. I will see you soon in my craft room, and stay crafty.